So tell us a bit about you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I run
What do you do?
𝗯𝗲𝘀. It's a Singapore headquartered alternative legal services provider. We started out largely focused on contracting and contract lawyers and
Okay.
secondments, and that's
Okay.
what we've been doing
Yeah.
for a long time now for kind of big
Okay.
global clients.
Yeah.
I think where we're seeing the future going, obviously with all the disruption and change in AI, with
Yeah.
AI coming in,
Yeah.
we're interested in where people fit into that
Yes. Yeah.
and kind of the interface between agents, agentic AI, legal tech,
Yeah.
and the people that ultimately need to oversee,
Yeah.
train,
Yes. Very
validate,
yeah.
etc. So we're kind of building what we call the talent intelligence layer
Yeah.
for legal now.
Yep.
So that any agentic workflow in the future,
Yep.
when it needs access to a human to validate or to ask a question or to get that human judgment,
Yep.
it provides an interface for it to kind of find the right talent,
Yeah.
whatever that needs to
Yeah.
be.
It's certainly very topical at the moment. And yeah.
If somebody here isn't talking about AI, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Either the mistakes or or whatever.
Exactly. Exactly.
And by alternative legal solutions, what do you mean? Can you explain to the audience?
So alternative legal services, it's legal services that sit outside of kind of a regulated law
Right.
firm framework.
Okay.
So we don't provide regulated advice or formal legal advice,
Yeah.
but the really common scenario is you've got a team, maybe they've got a big project,
Yep.
maternity cover,
Yep.
somebody just quit yesterday,
Yep.
and they really desperately need a pair of hands or more to fill that space.
Okay.
We help source that talent,
Yeah.
bring the talent on board,
Fantastic.
and manage it for the engagement.
What's your typical demand at the moment?
I think the demand itself hasn't dropped, which is interesting. I mean, it's always been an important piece of the puzzle for companies and client teams, because ultimately you can't always hire a new person as a permanent employee.
Yes.
You need the flexibility to be able to ramp up capacity and bring it down again. And it's been a very common part of staffing models. I think the interesting thing was that even with all of the excitement about AI and what it can do and how it can drive efficiencies, we're not really seeing a drop in demand right now, which I think shows that people are definitely still important today.
Yeah.
People are still figuring out what their teams should and will look like in the future.
Yeah.
Quite how it evolves, I think we'll see different skills being more in demand, and you can already see the demand for people that I guess are now called legal engineers.
Yes. Yeah.
And with that sort of skill set. So I think we'll see a broadening of the types of skills that are needed.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think the demand is still there for people.
Yeah. Okay. And is your client base international?
Yeah, very international. I think we have a lot of global MNCs and banks and tech companies and things like that.
Yeah.
But we also service the other end of the market, so high growth startups as well.
Yeah.
So we're headquartered in Singapore, but we operate from the UK, Middle East through to the whole of APAC, really.
Yeah. Well, and that human element, I suppose, is something that a lot of people are concerned about. Having someone take responsibility. Is that something that you're that you're really seeing? Is that one of the buying reasons that people come to you?
Definitely at the moment. I think, there's people want lawyers, but they want their lawyers to be more efficient.
Yes. Yeah.
I think if you've ever been through a genuinely difficult moment, either, it can be personal, but even with a business, a lot of the time, just having an interface tell you what to do isn't enough. You need the human sitting there that you can look in the eyes and who can give you advice and who can provide counsel, right?
Yeah.
So I think people genuinely want the human element, and they genuinely want the lawyer to be there assisting them.
Yes.
But what's definitely also true is kind of the old model that was just felt out of reach for a lot of people because of the costs.
Yeah.
It wasn't working. So I think what we need is the best of both worlds, where you have the right people with the right technology working together to do things much more efficiently and effectively.
Yeah. Well, I guess. Yeah, absolutely. And I totally agree. I have personal experience of that myself. Yeah. When you have that demand for legal services and you want somebody to take responsibility to say, this is what you should do.
Yes.
Right. And then they hang their hat on that. Yeah. What do you see, sort of in your crystal ball for the next 6 to 12 months?
I think if I had a crystal ball, I probably wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah.
I think it's just such a period of intense change and rapid change at the moment, and I don't think that's going to slow down particularly.
Yeah.
That said, I think a lot of people have pointed out that we might be at a certain cycle on the traditional technology adoption and hype curve, right? Where you have that intense excitement at the beginning where everybody is thinking this is going to change everything and it's going to happen really quickly. And then you get to the point where you realize, okay, yes, there's a huge amount of potential, but it requires real time and effort to make it real. And, you know, there was just a client that we've been speaking to recently that we do a whole lot of work for. And they basically came out and said, look, our team now have access to AI. They should be more efficient. And of course, it's a great sentiment. And I'm sure that you can get there. But just by giving somebody a piece of technology, it doesn't magically change anything. So I think there's definitely going to be more and more of this understanding that, yes, there's a lot that can be built and there's a lot that can be done. But now we actually need to get on with the hard bits of designing, building, implementing, and bringing the people along with that so that it can be more sustainable for the future.
Do you find that some of these technology implementations might be, you know, just going off the hype rather than actually doing the work of focusing on business requirements, getting those requirements documented, setting goals and setting training plans and, you know, and change management? You know, do you think a lot of that hype is now starting to die down a bit because people need to actually implement properly?
Yeah, look, I think it definitely is. I think people are coming to the realization, whatever's changed with technology, human nature hasn't changed, right? So we see something new, we get excited, you know, we think it's going to be easy. This has been the same story for multiple technology innovations over the past 10, 20, 30 years. I've sat in so many meetings across industries and clients where they come to the table saying, we want to implement this technology because that's going to solve all our problems. And you have to be the voice of reason sitting there saying, okay, let's define what the problems are in the first place and actually define what you want to achieve before we dive straight into just trying to implement something for the sake of it, right? So I think there's clearly a whole spectrum of people out there and where they're at. Some will be very sophisticated and thinking about things in the right way and quite far along. I know there are others where literally people are just playing around and experimenting. And if any of that's going to turn into anything or go anywhere, who knows?
Absolutely. I mean, I know of that that experience myself, you know, where people get given a piece of technology and their bosses have told them it's going to change the world. It's like, as you say, they're just sitting there experimenting, going, "Wow, this sounds great."
And you mentioned the change management, and I think it's just such a fundamental and often overlooked part.
Very
because again, humans are humans, and you know, they'll be afraid of what's coming and excited about what's coming, and they'll need to buy into it and understand it. And so, in most technology implementations historically, a lot of them fail because the change management piece isn't there, and it isn't there in a strategic sense. It's something that's bolted on at the bottom, rather than actually being part of the plan from the beginning.
Like where the success factors aren't really readily defined at the start. Who can judge whether it's been been a good implementation or not? That's fascinating insights today. Where can people find you?
They can find us at www.𝗯𝗲𝘀.co. That's .co. Or they can look me up on LinkedIn, Simon Bedford.
Absolutely. It's great to meet you today, Simon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for your time.
As well.
Cheers. Thank you.